Okay, here goes for the 7-6 video. Now we've already talked about tangent, and remember we said tangent was opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to work on sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse, and I'm going to work on cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, I didn't like the notes, so I'm just going to kind of go through some examples and show you what you're doing. It's really the same as you did with the tangent. You just have different sides on the triangle now. So for example, let's do a sine first. So we have a picture. Okay, we have a 40-degree angle, a 6, and an x. Okay, so the first thing we do is stand on the angle and we label opposite the 40 is the 6, opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, and this would be the adjacent, but we don't know anything about that. Okay, so we have opposite and adjacent, but we do know the angle. So sine of 40 is going to equal 6 over x. Again, we cross multiply. 6 is going to equal sine of 40 times x. We divide both sides by sine of 40. So x in this case is going to be 9.33. So again, it's exactly what you did before. You just have different sides on the triangle. Okay, I'll do another sine. So let's do this one. Okay, so same triangle, right triangles, but we're going to put a 25 up here, and now we're going to put an x here and a 10 there. Okay, so again, really the labels are the same because we're standing up here, so opposite and hypotenuse. But again, it's going to change because the x is going to be at a different place. So sine of the angle, 25, is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So if you look, the difference here is the x is in the numerator now instead of the denominator. So we're going to cross multiply. X is just going to be sine of 25 times 10, which in this case becomes sorry, I thought I had these all figured out. Okay, so we're at sine of 25 times 10. Okay, 4.23. Okay, I just can't read my handwriting. All right, so these are the sine examples. Again, it just makes a difference if your x is in the numerator or the denominator. Okay, I'll do one more sine example. Okay, so we know the angle is going to be 76, opposite is going to be x, and so we're standing on the 76. This becomes the opposite. This is hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So sine of 76, opposite over 30, cross multiply, x is going to be sine of 76 times 30, and you just do that on your calculator. So sine is going to be 29.1. So again, these are very close to what you did with tangent. You're just using opposite and hypotenuse instead. Okay, let's do some cosines now. So again, remember cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so my first example. Okay, my angle is 35. This is a 10, and this is my x. So again, we stand on the angle. This becomes the opposite. We do not know anything about it. This is always the hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent. So since we have adjacent and hypotenuse, we're going to say cosine of 35 is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. We cross multiply. 1 times 10 is 10. Cosine of 35 times x. This is one we have to divide. So we're going to divide 10 by cosine of 35. and our x is going to be 12.2. Okay, next example. Okay, I'm looking for one so I have an x in a different location. Okay, let's do cosine. Okay, so we know our angle is 70, we know our hypotenuse is 5, and we know our adjacent is the x. Okay, so we're standing on the 70. We label again, do not know anything about the hypotenuse. Adjacent hypotenuse. So we're going to say cosine of 70 is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. We cross multiply cosine of 70 times 5. So our x is going to be 1.7. Okay, so questions there. I'll do one more. Okay, so let's move it up, let it focus. Okay, so cosine again. Let's do this one. Okay, so okay, so there's our example. So our angle we're standing on, opposite, there's nothing there. Hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, and adjacent is the leftover. So we'll do cosine of the angle 12 is equal to 16 over x. Okay, we cross multiply. 16 is equal to cosine of 12 times x. We have to divide. Remember, these are partnered up. It's not a 12, it's a cosine of 12. So x is going to be 16.3. So there's 3 more examples. So now I've done tangent on the other video and then sine and cosine on this video. So hopefully that will have you set to go into the next video, which we'll be working on finding everything on the triangle.